5 minutes.
Your awareness may be powerful enough to control your instincts. Your instinct will be to remove your hand from the box.
It's your girl Meesh, and welcome to another episode of the Luv MEESH Podcast. Welcome to another episode of Luv MEESH Podcast. And on today's episode, we are talking about reclaiming your original nationality. So I have been working on something in the background. I told y'all I was going to do it, and I did it. My paperwork is filed. I'm legit. I switched my ethnicity from Black African American. I switched it. I don't recognize that anymore. I encourage you to do your homework, your due diligence, and see if that applies to you. And be true to your culture, be true to your heritage, be true to your people. Now, I've had a best friend since second grade. We literally watched each other grow up. It's crazy. She's like a sister, basically, because the same way I have memories with my sister for years, I have memories with her. So her mom is from Ghana, and her mom has this beautiful accent. I remember her making her spicy food. My best friend, she loved jerk chicken. Every time we go out of town, we went to Orlando. She wanted some jerk chicken. We went to Jamaica. She couldn't wait to get the beef patties and stuff. She just loves spicy food. She loves culture. So she knows who her people are. She knows her heritage. Her daughter went with her mother to Ghana to see the family. They always do big reunions. She knows her aunts and uncles. Family is a big deal. She wouldn't have no problems with where she came from, who she is, what's the culture, all of that. She just would not. Now, me, on the other hand, I remember Grandma saying we were Cherokee. So she does know that. She knows that our people are from Georgia. But just think about it. Technology, government always has had A1 technology. So who are we kidding here? But technology has just trickled down, and it is extremely watered down. I kid you not. To us, it's so watered down to where we're using phones for the internet, and they have a contact lens with the internet on it. Okay? I'm just pause for a moment to let that sit in. There's a contact lens with several layers, and one of those layers has a battery, a microchip that's connected to the cloud with sensory and all of that stuff, so that as you're looking at someone's face, it's telling you their name. I wouldn't be surprised if it tells you their heart beating, their blood type. I wouldn't be surprised if has recordings. You can click and look at recordings from their phone, because these phones are always on, by the way. The fact that you can say, "Hey Siri," and she's ready to make a request from you. The only way she can do that is if she's listening at all times. So let's just, they just gave us that command to kind of trick us. They know, hey, she been listening the whole time. You might as well just say, "What's the so-and-so and so?" And she should just tell you. Why you have to say her name? She's always listening. But anyways, and I realized, and I didn't know this before, I used to look at movies and, that was a great movie, great entertainment. Oh, I can't wait for that stuff to happen. I'm excited for the future. No, honey. These producers have classified top secret records from the government that they have permission to turn into movies. And these may be 30, 20 years old by the time they turn it into a movie. So you're like, oh my gosh, Fifth Element, Flying Car, Alien, Independence Day, this, that, the other. That shit is old, long gone. you getting it 30 years later. Like, they literally have med beds, y'all. You get in the med bed. I think I said this before. It heals your body from head to toe. If your leg is missing, it done grew another leg. If you have any illness, the illness is gone. So if you have illnesses, hang on. The med beds are on the way. They don't want to release them until everything is free. They always trying to tag money onto it, which means somebody will be a monopoly, which means people will be dying to do what that person said just to get in the med bed, and that's not why it was made. That's not why any of this stuff exists. We all supposed to be helping each other. Oh my God. If you don't remember anything from any of my podcasts, and I'm going to hop back on subject because I'm about to hop off. One, love. One means I am you and you are me. One means dark is light and light is dark. Because if you think of the yin yang, they're going in a circle. If the white fish eats the black fish, that's it. If the black fish eats the white fish, that's it. When they recognize they are each other, they'll start chasing each other and realize that they are one. Why would I eat my half? I'll give you another example. If you get a raise at work, you're like, oh my God, I got a raise. You start thinking, what you going to do with the money? Is it a new job with new hours? Is it new responsibilities? Like what? You know what I mean? That's a different part of you. It's excited. It's happy. All those energies that go with it. That's one half of you. That's not the sum of you. In reverse, if you get fired, you'll be like, oh my God, woe is me. You're probably ready to blow some shit up, angry. All this negative energy is going to be around you too. You're still the same person, but within two different situations, you emit two different energies. That's all we are. We're light beings. And light is energy. Energy is motion. Energy is never destroyed. It's only transformed. So when you're happy, it's transforming to happy energy. When you're mad, it's transforming to mad energy, and all the energies in between. So anyways, that's the point of one. All is one and one is all. If we all raise our vibrations, if the good raise their vibrations, that's amazing. If the bad raises its vibration, that's amazing as well. They both are moving in the right direction. If the bad lowers the vibration, it's just going to get worse. And if the good lowers the vibration, it's just going to get worse. Again, there's moving in the wrong direction is going to end up being the wrong result. So if everybody moves up, that's what this whole conscious movement is for everybody to learn a little bit more, for everybody to do a little bit better on whatever level you're on. Up is up. Up is up, my nigga. It's good. You can move 1 inch up. I'm proud of you. You can move 1,000,000 inches up. I'm proud of you. Like, up is up. If it's up, then it's up. Okay, so that's one. And then you have love. Love is it, y'all. That's basically it. If your child comes home with the F and they have to repeat their grade, you might whoop them. You might punish them. You might take their phone, but you ain't gonna kill them. Is you gonna kill them? All right, so God looking at his creations like, oh my God, like, and they could be doing the worst things that we may not understand. I don't even want to list them because I'm not even at that level. And he's not gonna kill them. He's gonna give them opportunity to grow and change their ways and to raise their consciousness. And that is love. I don't know if I'm will I ever get to that level? I don't know. That's like amazing. Like this, like, you know how you be like, if a person on let's just say somebody killed somebody and they're in the courtroom and the person that they killed parents are sitting on the front row, and at the end, I know because I was in jury duty, they'll get up and they'll read a letter saying, I forgive you. And I'm like, the fuck? Forgive you for taking my child? And I don't believe in the death penalty. If you don't create life, you shouldn't take it. And I really don't even believe in life forever. Like, have y'all seen those cells? That's overkill. Dogs have a better existence than people in jail. And that's inhumane to me. If a dog is living a better life than a human, we're fucked up. We're a fucked up society. That's just my opinion. But something has to be done because you're not just going to be going around here killing people. Like, something's wrong with you. You're imbalanced. childhood wounds and whatever else. We need to fix that so that you can go do good in this world, because at the rate you're going, hide your wife, hide your kids, right? So I think more than love has to be, love is a start, because I'm pretty sure that person's like, wow, I literally took their kid. They probably want to end their own life, and then to hear, I forgive you, that probably has to take a big weight off their shoulders. You know, that probably helps them believe there is a God. If this person can forgive me, if this person can forgive me, surely God can. You know, maybe that's a whole domino effect. But is that enough for them to do better? It might be. It might be enough for them to do better. But I think in addition to love, hopefully different earth angels will come around and help them grow. You know what? That's true, because a lot of people get out of jail and they know more about aliens and consciousness and stuff. So maybe some of our people have to go to jail because there's angels in there. And I call people earth angels. Like, if when you learn something and you can help another individual, you're like a teacher, a guide, an earth angel. And I wonder how many old heads in jail have helped those youngins coming in that get a chance to go back out, even though they're probably in there for life. You know, that's amazing that they're in there doing that for us, so that these people can come out and have a better existence, because the government ain't doing it. But anyways, so yes, I am a part of Whatitiri Nation. I'm so freaking excited. My card came in the mail. I have a legit card. Don't ask me for my ID. I don't answer to that. I have a tribal ID. And my chief, Brother Yusuf, he's so amazing. He was able to go from New York to Canada with his ID. He did say they held him up a little bit just to kind of confirm it and make sure it was legit. But he did not have his passport. So, baby, can your driver's license be a passport? No, it cannot. Me and the girls went to what was Jamaica, Mexico's the last one. They was like, passport, please. They don't want no damn ID. Passport. So my tribal ID is passport proof. So I'm so excited. So I'll listed the link so that you guys can sign up for the tribe. It is not free. It is $2.95 as a one-time fee. Well, let me make sure I'm quoting this right. We don't want to get this wrong. Hold on. TP Ministries checkout. Let me go to checkout. I want to say it's $195. I'll probably put an extra $100 on there. Whew. I'm glad I got 2 more extra days off. Thank you, Lord. And then my sister was like, we off Thursday. I'm like, what? Thank you. It's going to be a 2-day work week for me. Wednesday and Friday. I'm manifesting a job off the phones because I don't mind working. My family, my DNA got work all through it. I don't even have to go through all of that. Y'all know I don't have any problems with working. However, why you gotta play so bad? Why you gotta play so bad? It's asking me to log in, but it looks like it got me logged in already. Okay, here it is. $175 is the sign-up fee, and then it's $25 a month. No refunds, and the card will be charged $25 the first of each month. Now, in Florida, they would not file my paperwork, and I had to mail it and get it filed with the state of New York. So it is filed. I was able to get a copy. They mailed me my copy back, and I was able to get my card. Whatitiri Nation tribal member. I have a member number. Treaty of J, Indian Reorganization Act of 1934. It got my tribal registry on there. It says attention, do not detain, with a little I guess QC code on there. It got my beautiful picture with my heart earrings and my what you call them things, kinky twist. It got my hair, eyes, weight, height, birthday, woman, nationality, Whatitiri, Aboriginal. It got my signature, my name, and my address. And it actually has like rainbow color on it. So you know how your driver's license got that extra little symbol on it to let you know it's like a real legit card? That's how this is. Like, Chief ain't playing around. Like, we real deal did this. And at first he did it for himself and his family, and then he opened it up for us, and I'm so thankful that he did that. He didn't have to do that. See, some people learn stuff and they keep it to themselves. That's not why the world was invented. If that's the case, none of us would exist. God would just say, okay, I'm alive. That's all that matters. No. He broke it down so that every living cell within him is living. And that's what I really think this boils down to. Remember the movie Osmosis Jones, where you could look inside the body, and then the Magic School Bus and Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. Just all these movies that show you that there are really, really big things, and then there are really, really little things. I feel like we're just little beings. Horton Hears a Who. We're little beings inside of a big being. And maybe the reason we can't get out of space is because maybe the space is like the blood that's in somebody's body. And, you know, some people say we're in God's brain, the neurons. Which will be, and then I think there's some myths that God is sleeping and we're in his dreams. So yeah. But look, I'm about to drift to another podcast. Okay, bring it back in. So I'm going to let you listen to 2 clips, give you a little background about why I feel this is something that you should research and look into. And then I'm going to tell you some other things that you can do. I'll be back.
Those who were of non-pale complexions, deeming it as survival of the fittest, were those who did not meet their racist criteria, motives, and agendas, would suffer from a variety of forms of propaganda that was hypothesized to eliminate the opposing race of people. Eugenics is literally a modernized pseudoscience that was based merely on racial discrimination and environmental injustice, socially, physically, and mentally, but became prosperous still due to its popularity of praises from those who gravitated towards inequality and racial estrangement. On the date of September 25, 2008, in a statement made before the Senate Committee on Indian Affairs by Representative James P. Morin, on the grounds of the Thomasina E. Jordan Indian Tribes of Virginia Federal Recognition Act, Morin stated, quote, "This is a travesty that this committee can correct. The second unique circumstance for the Virginia tribes is what they experienced at the hands of the state government during the first half of the 20th century. It has been called a paper genocide. At a time when the federal government granted Native Americans the right to vote, Virginia's elected officials adopted racially hostile laws targeted at those classes of people who did not fit into the dominant white society. The fact that some of Virginia's ruling elite claimed to be blood descendants of Pocahontas, in their view, meant that no one else in Virginia can make a claim they were Native American and a descendant of Pocahontas' people. To do so would mean that Virginia's ruling elite were what they decreed all non-whites to be, part of the inferior Negroid race. With great hypocrisy, Virginia's ruling elite pushed politics that culminated with the enactment of the Racial Integrity Act of 1924. This act directed state officials and zealots like Walter Plecker to destroy state and local courthouse records and reclassify in Orwellian fashion all non-whites as colored. It targeted Native Americans with a vengeance, denying Native Americans in Virginia their identity. To call yourself a Native American in Virginia was to risk a jail sentence of up to 1 year, end quote. Now, in this statement, he used the term Native American, but the truth is that our identities were changed not from Native American, but from Indian to colored. And they were not only jailing people in Virginia for claiming their true identity, but they were also killing them by hanging them from a tree, and in more ways than one that I won't mention, in each state across North America. The biggest bigoted racist white supremacist of them all was none other than Walter Ashby Plecker.
It was the greatest time of my life. Like, I'm not even being here.
The Plecker era was truly one of the darkest times for Native people in Virginia. But I think it's critical for us to think about what was the genesis of the ideology that Plecker was a proponent of. And it's really the eugenics movement. The eugenics movement was a pseudo-scientific movement. And we say pseudo-scientific today because we find that the science that they were proposing is not what we today would honor as scientific in any way. The eugenics movement has a direct link to the descendants of Charles Darwin. They somehow made the leap to these notions about racial purity. What is best for each race is racial purity. Plecker and his friends convinced the Virginia legislature to adopt very restrictive legislation in 1924. It's called the Racial Integrity Act. With this legislation, it was decreed that there were only two possible categories. One is white, which means a person you check that you're white if you have white ancestry, Caucasian ancestry, and absolutely nothing else. The other category is everybody else, and that's colored. So that this was very hard on Virginia's indigenous community because in a sense it wipes away their identity. Their identity on paper, their ability to describe themselves as Indian was not possible. To describe themselves as Indian was not possible.
Keep in mind that our elder family members' birth certificates were changed multiple times to state colored, Negro, mulatto, and now Black or African American as their classifications of racial identity by way of the federal government systematically. So the moral of this segment is that you have been lied to by your government, your president and politicians, your news media, your school teachers, college and university professors, your public school history curriculums, multiple out of Africa theory books, and even by the very people that share the same hue as you and I. And that's a whole nother story within itself. Now, I challenge each and every one of you to seriously research your mother or your grandmother or your great-grandmother's birth certificates right now. And if it has the letter C or COL dot or colored and every other misclassified title of race created by the government that I just mentioned, then at that moment, you will know the absolute truth about who you really are. I'm just here to make you think.
The thing that has made the so-called Negro in America fail more so than any other thing is your and my lack of knowledge concerning history. We know less about history than anything else. There are black people in America who have mastered the mathematical sciences, have become professors and experts in physics, are able to toss Sputnik out there in the atmosphere, out in space. They're masters in that field. We have black men who have mastered the field of medicine. We have black men who have mastered other fields. But very seldom do we have black men in America who have mastered the knowledge of history of the black man himself. They are experts. We have among our people those who are experts in every field. But seldom can you find one from among us who is an expert on the history of the black man. And because of his lack of knowledge concerning the history of the black man, no matter how much he excels in these other sciences, he's always confined. He's always relegated to the same low rung of the ladder that the dumbest of our people are relegated to. And all of this stems from his lack of knowledge concerning history. What made Dr. George Washington Carver a Negro scientist instead of a scientist? What made Paul Robeson a Negro actor instead of an actor? What made Ralph Bunche, or makes Ralph Bunche, a Negro statesman instead of a statesman? The only difference between Bunche and Carver and these others whom I just mentioned, they don't know the history of the black man. Bunche is an expert, an international politician, a politician on the international level. But Bunche doesn't know himself. He has no knowledge of the history of his own people. He can be sent all over the world by America to solve problems for America or to solve problems for other nations. But he can't solve problems for his own people in this country. Why? What is it that ties our people up in this way? The Honorable Elijah Muhammad says it boils down to just one word: history. When you study the history of Bunche, his history is different from the history of the black man who just comes here from Africa. And if you notice, Bunche was in Atlanta, Georgia during the summer, NAACP convention. He was Jim Crow. He was segregated. He was not allowed to go in a hotel down there. Yet there are Africans who can come here black as night and go in some of these cracker hotels. Well, what is the difference between Bunch and one of them? The difference is Bunch doesn't know his history, and they, the Africans, do know their history. They may come here out of the jungle, but they know their history. They may come here wearing sheets with their head all wrapped up, but they know their history. You and I can come out of Harvard, but we don't know our history. And the basic difference in why we are treated as we are, one knows his history and one doesn't know his history. The American Negro doesn't know his history. The American so-called Negro is a soldier who doesn't know his history. He's a servant in America who doesn't know his history. He's a graduate from Harvard or Columbia or Yale or Howard or Tuskegee who doesn't know his history. And because he doesn't know his history, he's confined. He's limited. He's held under the control and the jurisdiction of the white man who knows more about the history of the Negro than the Negro knows about himself. But when you and I wake up, as we're taught by the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and learn our history, learn the history of our kind as well as the history of the white kind, then then the white man is at a disadvantage and we're at an advantage. The only thing that puts you and me at a disadvantage is our lack of knowledge concerning history.
Yes. Shout out to Dane Calloway. He does a lot of research on his page. I have a link in the description. Shout out to Malcolm X. A friend of mine was telling me to look into Malcolm X, and I don't know why. I remember taking an African American class in college, and it was focused. Everything had to do with slavery. Like, I'm so fucking sick of slavery. I'm sick of hearing about them feeding babies to crocodiles. I'm sick of hearing about them hanging and burning people. I'm sick of hearing about running away and putting shackles on them and force feeding them in a damn boat and someone being lost at sea. Like, I'm just so sick of that shit. I don't feel like that's my history. I don't. I'm Aboriginal. My people was already here, and they were tricked and lied to and everything else. But I don't subscribe to that, and I never really be hearing about that. So shout out to Dane for telling us. But he was telling me to look into Malcolm X, and then I want to look into people like Malcolm X. Who my grandma say? I remind her. My grandma had named somebody. My grandmother, I wrote it down. Angela Davis, I think. So I want to look her up. There's just a lot of, like, the powerful black people that, outside of Martin Luther King, because that's the one they bring up. Which, I need to go brush up on him too. Because it seems like the older you get, the more stuff come out, different movies, different documentaries from when you're a child. So you always have to keep reviewing this stuff. And I remember us doing, like, Black History, but we would pick a person and learn about them, and that was it. But I do a little more research now, so I want to brush back up on African Americans. But now that I'm into Aboriginals, I want to know, how did they dress, what did they eat, who did they worship. So I'm excited to go down that path. And guess what I just found out? You know how everybody was saying Wakanda is fictional, Wakanda is not a real place, it was made up for Panther. Okay, well, did not he drink water and go to sleep and woke up with magical powers? So there's a spring called Wakanda Springs, I think in Virginia. And the natives, the natives would drink the water and get magical powers. Does that not sound like a freaking Black Panther to you? Oh, okay. And the natives will offer the river weapons and foods and different things, like, to honor it for its gift of the superpower. But we don't hear nothing about that either. And correct me if I'm wrong, when people get sick, don't you hear about them going to springs and getting some of that water, some of that healing water? Because the water that we get is not alive, y'all. Everything has to be in motion. Everything has to be in motion. Moving. Anything that's stagnant is of no good. It has to move. So they get the water. They put it in these bottles. It sits. And the only motion that it gets is in this toxic ass plastic bottle. I don't care what plastic bottle you use, what brand you use. It's the moment it hits that plastic. See, we're not on a microscopic level, so we can't see it. But plastic isn't solid. The water is going into that plastic, and water is an absorber. It's going to absorb anything that you put it in contact with. So now it's absorbing a damn chemical. So they want to come out with, oh, it's BPA free. BPA free my ass. Buy filters for your kitchen. Buy filters for your shower. You can even get crystals and put them in your water, and they'll clean the water for you. You can use charcoal. I mean, this is the age of Google. I don't have to say much for you to be able to find the answers. But I just thought that was interesting. Like, they want to say, oh, Wakanda isn't real, but nobody mentioned the spring. So they're giving us this dead water. When water is in that spring, it's moving. By the time you put it in that glass bottle, it's still got that energy in there. It's a young rapper. I forgot his name, but he's so conscious now. He sells herbs and different things like that. Like, I'm so proud of him. He'll be sun gazing. He'll be in the background with his feet. Everybody was telling me, you so country, put some shoes on. I'm like, you don't ground? I'd be like, God, why I feel alone in this universe? You don't put your feet on the grass. You don't ground. Do you know we are electrical beings? And when they put rubber on our feet, that disconnect us from Mother Earth. That's like traveling with your cell phone and getting in the dead zone. It's not going to work because you're not connected to the internet. Your feet not being connected to the ground, you're not connected to source. I got rid of my bed set. I got a whole new like white bedroom set. I'm sleeping on wooden pallets. There's a new mattress that I found out because I'm making a baby loss book, because I'm actually working through that. Been doing a lot of healing with that. And she lists, like, you're not supposed to use nail polish and different cleaning stuff for your house. And my best friend was telling me about a company that would ship like chemical free products to you. So I'm going to look back into that because I never ordered it. She was listing like a bed set that you could get. Like, she has a book of you can clean your whole house to get rid of these chemicals because they cause issues with fertility as well. So I was like, oh my God, like I didn't just know all this stuff. So I'm just in the mode of learning and researching different stuff like that. But yeah, like, who knew that we've been drinking dead water? So yeah, you drinking it and your body pissing it out, but is it really doing anything for you as much as it's supposed to do? No. So even if an animal is drinking dirty water, just the simple fact that it's connected to Mother Earth, they're getting more benefits than us from being in them damn plastic ass bottles or coming through them nasty ass pipes. You want to know why they have to put fluoride and all that in the water? One year my dad changed the pipes under the house. So he had to cut the steel, buy some plastic PCP pipes and put them on. My dad is motherfucking amazing. Okay, can we just... I remember him calling for help like once or twice, maybe 3 times. Maybe 3 times. Horrible. And he would just fix everything. He would go outside, look at YouTube, go to Home Depot, go to all the men's stores. The men would talk to him. They would help him. And number one, we didn't have money for it. So, I don't know if that was his biggest motivation. But my mom was like his number one supporter. If he working on the car, she out there with the flashlight. Why? Like, she just was... He mowed the grass, she mowed the grass. I always saw them do the same things. Like, if he's on the roof, snaking the roof, she's up there too. Like, she just never let him just do it alone. She's right there to help. And then he's the same way in reverse. She's not cleaning the bathroom and cooking every day on her own. He's right there. He's cleaning the bathroom. He's cooking. And I know a lot of people be like, oh, you're not supposed to have a relationship like your parents. people aren't like, whatever. You can choose to have whatever life you want, and I don't want to be cooking dinner every night when we both are adults and we both need to eat. Now, before we met, I hope you weren't eating out every damn day. You don't know how to cook nothing on this goddamn stove. And that's fine. That's just my preference. You want to know why? I'm not the best cook in the world. You can ask my family. Even in my last relationship, that was a very long time, I would get in there and cook. I'm not just going to let you cook all the time. Like, what is that? I don't know. And then I'm a Libra too. So it's always going to be, if that shit ain't balanced, I'm bouncing. It's just always going to be like that. But I've come to a place now where I realize I don't even have to put myself in those situations to go down those roads. That's where I've been messing up at. So I won't have to worry about that anymore because I'm not journeying down those alleys anymore. But back to Whatitiri. So I have my Indigenous card. I told you can go to TP Tribal Membership to sign up. The link is below. I also have an Indian name, you guys. And let you hear. Okay, so I'm going to say it in English first, and then I'm going to let you hear it in Cherokee. So in English, it's Love Wolf Spirit. If you ask my my family, they all know love. Like, love is everything to me. I even call myself Luv MEESH now because that's my spiritual name. However, I do have a Cherokee name that I made up, which was Love Wolf Spirit. So love because everything is love with me. Wolf because there's a fighter in me. Like I don't know. Consequences don't scare me. If I don't want to do something, I'm not gonna do it. And it just is what it is. Like my DNA has come too far for me to be backtracking. Like if it feels like slavery, smells like slavery, wants me to go back to slavery, it's a no for me. Like I'm going to keep moving forward, and people can backpedal it if they choose to, which is fine. I mean, we all have choice. But I also have always been like an advocate, like, why are there homeless people? Or why? Like, I've always, hated the injustices of the world. Like, there's enough money to go around. There's enough food. We literally, in all these restaurants, we throw food away. It's nothing to send all that food to a center and then have all the homeless people go to the center and pick out what they want, put them in their little backpacks and go on about their business. What's wrong with that? It's already picked over and mushed, and we won't want it anyway. So why not do that and throw it away where the animals can't even get to it? I don't know. I just feel like a lot of the stuff that we do is selfish. So I have 2 links where you can make an Indian name for yourself. And Chief said most Indians use spiritual names, which is why I did Love, I did Wolf, and Spirit. I put Spirit on the end because I've always grown up Christian, but I didn't really feel spiritual or just feel Christian. But now I feel like spiritual. Like everything is spirit. When you make food, that's spirit. The way your house is clean, that's spirit. The way you talk to someone is spirit. The way they treat you is spirit. I don't know. The trees, the animal, like everything is really one love, like I said. So I just wanted to make sure I incorporated spirit in my name. And to me, spirit is again that energy that never dies. Like I'm never gonna die either. So when I'm no longer on this earth anymore, I'm still gonna visit all my loved ones. If it's some vegan, hippie, spiritual stuff, that's me. That's me trying to talk to you through number, shape, music, cartoon, whatever. However you gonna listen, I'm trying to get to you. But let me go to my link because I done went grocery shopping, cooked and all, and came back to the page. Cherokee Nation. It took my things away. I don't know what's been going on with my devices, y'all. I be trying to cover them up, and now they be acting funny. I literally had these names pulled up, and now they're not there. But that's okay. I'll do them again. So, Love. Okay. Let me make sure I have it turned all the way up.
Ttyl.
Gaga Yui. That's love. Let me do the other one. Wolf.
Wahya.
Wahya. And then let me do spirit. Adantum. But yeah, that's my Cherokee name. I'm so excited, y'all. It's so crazy. And also, you can go to the Social Security Administration and change your ethnicity with Form SF-181. Now, I haven't done this part yet. I was looking up people's testimonies on YouTube and trying to do a little bit more research about it. Chiefs didn't do his. He had reservations about it. So I just want to make sure it's something that I want to do before I do it. But on the form, you would check American Indian or Alaska Native. You wouldn't do Asian. You wouldn't do Black or African American. You wouldn't do Native Hawaiian or other Pacific Islander. And you wouldn't do white. So I have a link for that form. And if I do, my sister's going to do it too. So if I don't do it and she do it, I'll get information for her. And if I end up doing it, I'll come back and, I'll do a part 2. You know it. And you also can get a World Citizen Passport. A World Passport is a fantasy travel document sold by the World Service Authority, a nonprofit organization funded by Gary Davis in 1954. That comes from Wikipedia. You can go to worldcitizengov.org. Apply. I have the link below. And not only can you get a passport, you can get an ID, a birth certificate, a marriage certificate. It's just so much stuff. Like, oh my God. So Chief got his. He actually went in person and signed in red. I want to do the same thing. I even looked up how long it'll take to drive from here to Washington. I'm gonna need somebody to go with me. It's a lot of driving. My sister, she's about to move to Georgia. She was gonna go up there. She's like, I'll let you know so we can go together. So be able to do that as well. And let's see. I have the links for Dan Calloway. I also have links for my YouTube. I be on YouTube a lot just looking at stuff, and I finally started categorizing them so I could start sharing those links so that people could go see them too. Because one day I won't be here, and hopefully I could just leave the stuff behind that I learned, researched, or whatever for somebody else to stumble upon, just like I've been stumbling upon other people's stuff. And that's really what it's all about. When you climb a ladder, you don't keep going. You stop, bend down, put your hand down, and help the next person up. Then you keep going, and then they stop, turn around, bend down, and help the next person up. And that's how it's supposed to go. People climb to the top, keep going, keep running, and nobody else come up. Like, that's not how it's supposed to go. But yeah, I really think you should look into Ancestry.com. Start there. You can get a 2-week free trial. Have a link. Find out about your family history. When you look at the records and you see Black, Negro, Native American, off rip. Because a lot of the other people came here on their own. Like, think of the people that's coming here now. There's no records that's going to say that they were farming and stuff like that, because they weren't slaves. They literally came here from other places. But our people were listed as farmers under the slave's name. Like, he named all his human cattle, which is what they were, and who they were married to, and the kids they had. And I mean, it was so crazy as I looked through these records. It's so crazy that it shows the weight. If they could read, if they could write, if they could spell. And then it started, it had so much details, the older documents. Then they started watering it down. I said, okay, so now they know that we're getting access to this stuff, and they're trying to water down what all they were recording. But for on my tree, on my mom's side, starting with me as 1, I can go back 8 generations. So 1 being me, 2 being my mom and my mom, 3 being her mom, 4 being her mom, like that. So I can go back 8 women on my mom's side, and I can go back 10 women or no, I don't think it was women, because I think it's one of the women stopped and it had to switch to the man's side. So, but I could go back 10 generations on my dad's side. Now, the higher up you get, it starts to link with Caucasians and coming from England and owning land in England and stuff, and they want you to kind of pay for those records, which is fine. Like, that's to be assumed, because the moment they came over here and got slaves, they couldn't keep their hands off the women, and that's when the inbreeding started. So of course it's gonna go back beyond the Aboriginal, because that's where the mixing starts. And let me tell you the truth here. Aboriginals told history with a campfire, with singing and stories and by ear. So when it really should go to the Aboriginal side, it doesn't, because from the time they were captured, there was no records. That was it. They started to forget. They started to get dumbed down, watered down, and here we are today. So even ancestry is not really true to its form. Ancestry is basically saying these were your slave captors, and this is how they inbred. It's not saying these are your Aboriginal people, and these were the chiefs, and these were, and the women ran they run the world, just like Beyonce say. And I'm excited. I'm actually looking up fertility goddesses, and there's over 160 of them. I'm pretty sure there's more. And of course, Africa and Egypt probably are the oldest ones, and everything else probably copies. But I was listening to Dr. Delbert Blair, and that's going to be my next podcast, and he was giving more information about women. And I actually got a book because I wanted to learn more about the 12 skeletal systems. And sometimes I just have to be thankful for where I am in life, because if I had like a family and kids right now, I wouldn't have all this time to like research and learn. It's really something that I like to do. So I just have to get out of my own head sometimes. And I can see, and it's so funny, I can see myself saying no, no man, no kids, because you're not going to be focused on this. So I can literally see myself, like how I make the Sims, and I want them to do this, and I want them to do that, and based on what I want them to do, I create a family. I can definitely see myself doing that. But here inside the game, it's like, why? Because I don't forget every fucking thing. But this book is called Human Body 2017. I'm on Telegram, and it's this group where this girl, and I need to stop saying girl too, but there's a bookworm group, and she loads PDF upon PDF of free books. And see if I can find the name real quick. I keep telling y'all, get on Telegram. Book. It's only up from here is the name of the group. It's only up from here book club. It's 776 people, and nobody's even talking. She don't even let us type. It's nothing but books. We could comment on what she posts, but it's nothing but book, all the way scroll down. And all the books aren't for me, but the ones that call out to me, I make sure How to Activate Your Merkaba. Heck on one. Go on and get that. How to Activate Your Merkaba. And I don't know, I have to take, what I'm going to do tomorrow? I'm going to go to Apple tomorrow, because I don't know why my Apple isn't syncing up with my phone. And I think I know what it is. I didn't do the new upgrade. They probably going to want me to upgrade. I don't want to keep upgrading that shit. Homemade fruit candies, the art of connection, homemade candy. Ancient Egypt. On becoming wise. Oh, that is so cute. On becoming baby wise. Now, I just told y'all what I was working on. And that's one of the recent ones she put on there. Look, it's a lot of baby stuff on there. God is so funny. I see you guys. I see you. I feel like I'm nesting and I don't even have kids, but it's like I'm in a prep mode and it's so weird. Ain't a kid in sight. So yeah, I'm gonna just have to download them on my phone because the iPad isn't working. But that's the group, Sup From Here book group on Telegram, and you can get books on there. But where I was going with that? Okay, so the human body. It was explaining. Come on, my computer be so slow. God help me. God help me. So here it is. Why you gotta play so bad? Why you gotta play so bad? I gotta figure out which damn page it's on. Inside the cell. Why you gotta play so bad? Why you gotta play so bad? Okay, here it go. Boy or girl? A baby's characteristics, whether it will be tall or short, have curly or straight hair, brown or blue eyes, are set by the DNA. It inherits from its parents. 2 special chromosomes called X and Y determine whether a baby will be male or female. Females have 2 X chromosomes, XX, and males are Y, X and a Y, XY chromosome. A sex cell egg carries an X chromosome. Sex cell sperm can carry either an X or a Y. A boy is an XY and a girl is an XX. A baby receives an X chromosome from its mother and an X or Y chromosome from its father. An embryo is created when a sperm cell fertilizes a female egg. All eggs contain an X chromosome, but a sperm can carry either X or Y. So it is a sperm that determines a baby's sex. And look, the people that be calling in, they be calling in about more about their damn taxes. So one of the ladies was telling me, and this is so funny because I feel like I'm in nesting mode without a baby in sight, and all this baby stuff is like surrounding me. But you know how when I got my car, Nissan Sentra, that's all I saw on the road, Nissan Sentra. Now that I'm like thinking about baby, it's like all this baby stuff is just in my view. So I think that's kind of how manifestation works. Like when you focus on it, that's all that's gonna come to you, because I guess that's what you admit. Oh my God. This is crazy. You know how the light bulb just go out? Okay, yeah, that just happened. So one of my customers, she was like, if you want to have a baby and you want it to be a girl, she was like, have sex and don't have sex anymore. She was like, because girl sperms can live 3 days. She was like, if you want to have a boy, she was like, you're going to have to keep going because I think she said a day, they're going to die within 24 hours or something like that. And I'm like, here I am telling somebody about their payment or taxes, and how did we even get there? So don't be my best calls. Like, I don't know. I like regular human conversations, not the ones that I'm having. I don't know. I crave more now. So yeah, my next podcast is gonna dabble more into women. She's got mysteries and everything I've been learning, and I'm just so happy to go down this journey of woman being God and goddesses and womanhood and the different powers that she has as I go into the next phase of my life. So get your ancestry, look at your family tree. If you see any records that show, this was the head of the house, this was the wife, these are the kids, their age, and it say Negro, Native American, automatically, Aboriginal. You can join TP. I told you the price. You have the link to sign up. He can get you your papers filed with state. He can also get you an exemption for work. I work for government. We have until November 22nd to get these documents in and approved. I'm not sure where you are or what your deadline is, but that's something that you can do as well. Let me see. You can get your world passport, birth certificate, because I'm having my kids at home. They're not going in the hospital, and I probably don't even want them to have a fucking social. So all of this information is great for me. At least they can have some type of documentation that they do exist for me. And I'm probably going to have to do a lot more work to make sure they have land and stuff, because yeah, they making money off of our social. How you can't touch your own fucking money, your own birthright, and we can't even it's like we're kings and queens with riches that someone else is carrying. And you know what this reminds me of? Fucking Britney Spears. How you make all this money and don't have access to it? We all in the same boat. Talking about free Britney. Shit, free me. Oh my God. I did not look at it that way. Shit, free me. Got control over my damn money. But anyway, see all the different podcasts that can come out of this. I told you my Cherokee name, Wolf Love Spirit. You can either look at the dictionary, make your names, or click on the links, type it in, hear your names, do your names, and then your SSA SF181. Still undecided about that one. And then check out Dan Calloway, as well as the YouTube links that I have about nationality. And I'm just so glad that I was born in the age of information where we could learn this stuff, because our people were at a disadvantage. They were taken away from what they known. They didn't know the new language or new cultures of their people, and they just were so behind. And it's like we are finally, we finally have our head above water. So sometimes I don't give honor and reverence where it's due. And I humbly want to thank my ancestors, because I could not have traveled those roads. I'll be the first one to admit it. And be thankful that through all those hardships, here I am today. But what I do want to do is capitalize on the knowledge that I have and spread it and learn it and share it. Because I do feel like what's coming next, everybody's going to have a digital passport. It's already in China. I don't know what y'all be looking at, but China is what everybody's following. I wouldn't be surprised if China owns America, and it'll come out one day. And what came to me the other day, and I'm gonna close. When 9/11 happened, and I honestly think it was an inside job. And maybe not inside, but just evil forces, put it that way. I don't think it had to do with the parties that were blamed. Just put it that way. But somebody had to get the blame. And so, just like Hollywood, a story was fabricated. But I think the purpose of it was, someone mentioned trillions of dollars being missing. And it was a story that everybody was into to take their eyes off of that. The question still hasn't been answered today. Where did all that fucking money go? And then 2, to open up the door to not have privacy anymore. They weren't allowed to look at our phones and listen to our phone calls and look at our pictures and social media and all this stuff. But since 9/11, with the Whatever Act, they have full authorization. They don't have to ask you anymore. I wouldn't be surprised if they don't need warrants to come in people's houses anymore with these fucking phones that they can tap into at any time. So let's say they don't have a warrant to come in your house, and you might say something and they hear it and record it, and they give you a damn warrant to come in your house because they have full surveillance. And this phone is a surveillance. It's a surveillance. But anyways, so to piggyback off of that, I feel like COVID is the same thing. Man-made, Hollywood, fabricated. Yes, it does affect us and everybody, really, because everybody's not as healthy as they can be. So it caught a lot of people off guard. It helped some people boost their immunity, which I'm in that category. I've never bought a vitamin book in my life. I have one now. I never cared about herbs and teas. I know now, sea moss and stuff. So it was it's sad. There are people dying. I hate that it exists. I hate that someone created it. But some good thing came out of it that I can't be mad at too. But because of COVID, look, it's opened up this window to say, hey, there needs to be a passport that shows that you're secure. You know what it reminds me of? When you're a seaman, you have a TWIT card. And on that TWIT card is a lot of shit. I feel like COVID opened up the passport, and the passport is really like a TWIT card. It's going to have your health status on there, a whole bunch of shit that nobody needs to know. And I feel like the shot is tracking everybody. I feel like there's nanoparticles in there that are used as tracking devices. I feel like if the cell phone was actually a military weapon that could cause heart attack and stroke and different stuff like that. So if the phone can do that already, then I'm sure the shot can do 10 times more. So yeah, you take the shot, and there were some placebos. You take the shot and nothing happens to you. But what if, these are scientists and they've been doing this for years. By the time we get technology, it's 30 years old. Do you know Marilyn Monroe then was doing tummy tucks and butt lifts, and we just know about it? We just now know about it. Thinking that they're in the gym with trainers and shit, and they're getting their bodies done. And now that I think of it, it was a Twilight Zone episode about that. She's like, for her 18th birthday, she was supposed to go into the machine and look like, and she just kept saying, I don't want to look like everybody else. I don't want to look like everybody else. By the end of the show, she did it. But me looking at TV back then, it was entertainment. No, they were already telling us that that's the technology that they had back then. I wasn't aware. I wasn't consciously aware to look at it that way. But I feel like that's what COVID opened up the door to say, this is a passport this person has. There's going to be a passport to get on the internet. There's going to be a passport to travel, passport to get food. It's going to be a worldwide passport. So you know how we have a driver's license to drive? It's going to be a passport to breathe, basically, which is fucking ridiculous. Like, it's ridiculous. They're finding a way to control things that they shouldn't be able to control, and it's fucking ridiculous. And you know what else is coming? The robots. They have automatic Tesla driving ships, so seamen, beware. They have automatic driving flights, and pilots already know about this. Beware. They have Tesla driving trucks, so truckers, beware. And there's a book. I told y'all about the guy that said you should delete the internet, which I deleted a lot of my social media. I'm down to 2, and I won't have any problems deleting them either, but at least there's a lot more conscious information on there. But and I use it for information now, not for my personal information. But where was I going with that? Oh, he was saying the reason why you should delete the internet is not just to delete it. Social media, not the internet, social media is because it opens up the window for robots. So when you go on a website, does not it say, I am not a robot? Ask yourself why. And then if robots are so smart, they can't click on they can't click on the 3 buses in the picture. Like, that is so weird to me. So I'm gonna trust this person to drive my truck, drive my plane, and drive my ship, but it can't pick out 3 buses out of 9 boxes. I haven't figured that one out yet. And I look at a lot of sci-fi movies, and the robots they look just like humans and everything. And even in my sex class, she showed the different freaking sex robots, like real deal sex robot. In her class, she really showed us real freaking sex robots. And there was 2 kinds. One was just a sex robot with a mouth, but the other one had a mind. And it was like, he asked her a question, and she was like, I'm young now, but I would love to learn too. And it was just kind of creepy. Like, I'm young now. Why would you be having sex with a doll that says she's young? I don't know. It's all creepy to me. But the robots are going to be there. So where are the people going to go? They're not going to let unemployment rise. That's a burden. So I feel like they want to get rid of us. That's what the depopulation is about. More robots are going to take on more jobs, so less people are needed. And if people are going to live, it's going to be strongest of the fittest. So work out, take care of yourself, get your mind, heart, and body together. They already have shown us that they only want healthy people, and they are getting rid of unhealthy people. And that's just that. That's what I feel. That's what I know. And nobody wants to say it. And it's making me mad. But, you know, it is what it is. But yeah, Whatitiri Nation, your girl is officially Aboriginal. Thanks a million for listening. There's a million podcasts in the world. You clicked on this one, this one, to hear what I have to say. I hope universe has a special message for you. You can reach me on Linktree at /love.meesh. I hope you have a better than great day. Love ya. Talk to you later. Bye.
You all come to us young people for hope. How dare you? You have stolen my dreams and my childhood with your empty words. And yet, I'm one of the lucky ones. People are suffering. People are dying. Entire ecosystems are collapsing. We are in the beginning of a mass extinction, and all you can talk about is money and fairy tales of eternal economic growth. How dare you!